And meeting is now streaming live on Facebook.
Yeah. Getting ready.
What happened?
Checking in, seeing if we're online. Yeah, we are. We're surfing in the technology, making sure that everything is ready and live. I guess we can allow some a minute or so
Yeah.
people can tune in with us. We're not seeing Fred though. Fred, are you in? Because the image is frozen. I think it's maybe his connection. Remember, also last time he got disconnected for a little bit, so maybe we should give him some time to reconnect. Yeah, maybe.
Sorting it out, yeah, he's saying. So he's sorting it out just now. Wi-Fi problem.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Okay.
But surfing in this technology. So bear with us. Thank you for your patience. Okay, done. So maybe we can have that screen for. Yeah, sure. I just the only thing is it doesn't show on this page. Oh, here it is. Oh, here now, yes. Perfect. Okay. So hi everyone. Just waiting for some people to check in. Nadia is online. Hi Nadia. Hello. Beautiful sister Nadia. Amal. Hi, it's been a while, Amal. How are you? I'm very excited to be out there. It's been a while that I wanted to be there and engage with the community. So I'm very excited to be out there today, along with brothers and sisters from the soul. So the intention is basically to check in and to check in on you guys, the community, how are you doing? How's it going with you? And also to share our insights and to share our experience all throughout this entire period of time that is unusual. I don't want to use the word crisis, but just a challenging time that is all teaching us a different level. Absolutely. So we have, I believe that the energy has put us all together, starting with the panel that is present today. Corina, a beautiful soul sister, beyond all, but also expert in communication and relationship coach. Fred, that is joining soon whenever his Wi-Fi gets sorted, who's a Cosmo Energy magister and coach, a beautiful soul brother that I have discovered during the beautiful journey at Just Be, offering beautiful tools in the personal development field, and my sister, biological and heart sister, who's present right now, who offered her assistance and presence today to facilitate the interview and the conference, with joining with her beautiful heart, as well as communication skills as a communication expert. So where we are coming from is, it took me some time to actually define basically the direction. As the founder of Just Be, having presented myself who I am for those who do not know me, I'm a wellness expert as well as the founder of Just Be. Just Be is a well-being center offering different services related to well-being. For me, at first, since this lockdown has started and the situation has occurred, it had to first, if I may share my story, I needed to understand what was going on. So I was very much in seek of where is the energy coming from, and understanding at different levels, be it at spiritual level as well as at terrestrial level. So I felt that in that crucial moment when it started, I needed to be within and not engage. And so I apologize for not being or not having been out there for a few weeks right now. And I believe that we need to get Fred in. Let me just admit him, he's back. So important, very crucial to center myself, honor my role of a mother, my role of a human being, my role of a wife, my role of a friend, of a family member, and so on. Welcome back, Fred. Can you hear us?
Thank you. I can hear you absolutely fine.
Okay,
sorry,
great.
Small technical glitch. Everything's good now.
Oh, good. So I started telling like a short brief of just these experience coming, starting with me, and the fact that Just Be hasn't been out there for a while, and explaining the reason why. So just in brief, it has been a very intense period of time. It's been a roller coaster. I had to acknowledge that and to live the experience fully and understand and come from a space of responsibility of speaking what I have experienced truly from the heart, and hold the space from a space of having to go through the experience myself from a space of truth and authenticity. So hence why the withdrawal, and now after a few weeks, I am delighted to be in a certain space of clarity, still way to go, but I felt like it's about time to be out there. And the intention is to just be, so really honor the name of the identity of the brand, and let's just be together because we are in here together. And I have goosebumps right now just talking about it, so I guess I'm in the right space. And to hold the space for each other in whatever way we can. One thing for sure, the vision of Just Be is coming from a promise of being there. So to be there, meet you there, and help you there. So meet you at whatever level you are, and help you at whatever level you would like us to help to be helped with. So we are not coming from a space of giving a lecture or telling you what to do, or even from a space of teaching anything, because we're all in here together. But we are here to shed the lights with whatever tools we've been working on ourselves for decades, and still work in progress. However, I'm sure that by being together, we could, help each other in whatever way, and that's our promise. As we have worked on ourselves and learned so many tools, we're ready to share as much as we can at whatever level possible. So I've spoken enough, so I'll give the voice to my sister Magda to facilitate the interview.
Sure. So hi everyone. I hope everyone is doing okay and coping well with everything that's happening. I guess it hasn't been an easy ride. I guess at least for me, it's been a bit of a roller coaster. So, but we are moving forward, and we're here in good company. I wanted to, maybe before we engage on the topic of today, was basically to kind of reflect on how to navigate this period of time where there is a bit of confusion for some, bit of anxiety for some, bit of euphoria for some, bit of fear for some, so I thought maybe we just introduce everyone that's here today and who will participate and contribute to the conversation. So starting with Farina, maybe if you want to introduce yourself a little bit and maybe check in, tell us a bit about how you've been feeling lately and your take on this time, basically.
Thank you, Magda. Thank you for having me, first of all. Yes, definitely. Thank you for the sharing of Just Be to wanting to be of service. And yes, that's why we're here, to be of service for each other as well as everyone else who's out there, who's looking, who's needing advice or help or assistance in that matter. So me, myself, and I, relationship coach, very much into the shifting from the old paradigm of the patriarchal system to a more feminine essence of being. So just being. Very much work with women as well as men, because I believe that women goddesses are not enough to help us to become more at balance and peace in the whole world, in the whole societal, familial structure that we're in. So I believe also that men are called forth to step more into their feminine essence. So where do I come in? It's and what has been my experience is that definitely a lot of work for myself as well. You know, it's always an ongoing journey. Expert, yes, and then at the same time, you know, always learning through encountering other people, other spirits, other souls, you know, so we're all in this together on this journey. So very much looking forward to shifting and becoming more wholesome and more balanced, myself as well as for others. Definitely this time has been roller coaster for sure as well. And I think that's at the core as well of this time, to actually connect with the essence, who you become, and speak up with your truth. And I've been holding back a lot with my speech of truth, like on a more wider scale. So here I am. And I'm very blessed and grateful for that. So I can speak up a bit more to a wider audience. And yeah, so I think that's as much as I can say for now.
Okay.
Anything, or if you'd like to ask me something, please go ahead.
Definitely, I'll come back. I'll come back with you on that. I just also want Fred to check in a little, say hi to everyone, and introduce yourself, and maybe also tell us a little bit more about your also personal experience. I know you are in a different geographical location, and maybe there is also a different vibe there. So yeah, tell us a bit more about how you've been feeling and where you are now.
Sure. Yeah. It's so I am in a different location. I was actually in Dubai. It seems like a few days ago, but it was much longer when the crisis started. I remember talking with Nabila and Karina about what I should be doing. Initially, I was meant to spend 2 weeks there, but then with the situation, realizing that there'd be a lockdown, having my mother being in Sweden, I realized if anything happens to her and I'm not there to be with her because I'm doing something else, whatever else it is not quite as important as that. Given my mother is not that young anymore. So heading back to Sweden was absolutely the right thing to do. So up here, it's colder. There is no lockdown. There are no restrictions on anything really, which is a bit surreal. So on the one hand, it's very pleasant to be able to go outside. On the other hand, the mortality rate of, for example, people in old persons' homes is incredibly high. It's 1/3 of deaths are there because they're not taking the right measures to protect the old people. So it's very strange. There's a lot of trust in the government. There's a lot of delegation of responsibility to the government, who's basically saying, you know, relax. So it's a strange situation to be in. In terms of what I do, also I do regular coaching. I do energy healing with a method called Cosmo Energy, a bit like Reiki, but a bit with more channels than Reiki has. So it's very interesting. A lot of the work I do is about unblocking trapped emotions that we have inside. I find that when we have emotions inside, then we don't think efficiently. And when we clear out the emotions, we realize most of our problems go away. So we don't need to think about them that much anymore anyway. And what I've seen a lot is when we have emotions inside, we get a lot of avoidance mechanisms, be it shopping, alcohol, social media, and so on. And people being stuck around the world have cut down on some of the avoidance mechanisms. There's a lot of unpleasant things that are coming to the surface. So either they double down on social media and TV and whatever's there, or they face it. And the issue is when you have a balance of different ways, different avoidance mechanisms, you can sort of jump from one to the other. But when you get a lot of them taken away from you, you run a risk of overdosing on one, be it sugar, be it social media, and you just get sick of it. Then you end up just examining what you're trying to run away from. So it's an interesting time with people dealing with things they have inside, a lot of questioning about how do they want to live their life, where do they want to be, who's actually important in their life, are they respecting themselves or not. I know the people who will take to, for example, drinking or substances, at one point they're going to have a pretty bad headache and they're going to either deal with it or they're going to double down again. And I see a lot of people who suddenly wonder, well, why do I have my job? Why do I have my life set up this way? A lot of the perks I used to have, which were going out, drinking, shopping, are taken away. With social media, I see the people who put on fake faces and they don't talk to me anymore because, well, you start seeing the cracks in the mask. Somebody who says everything's amazing. This isn't Lego the movie, everything is awesome. It's not the case. This is tough for everyone, and people are being either authentic or putting on a mask. And I get a sense that, that those who want the mask will go there, and those who want something authentic will find authentic voices. And it's, interesting, very interesting times.
Okay. And I mean, as you said something about distractions and the fact that we don't have so many distractions at the moment, such as shopping or going out with friends or going out to parties. And we have been asked to self-isolate and on a global scale. And now we are coming face to face with ourselves, and it has triggered different emotions for a lot of people. But why is it that it's a tough question to answer probably, but it feels like the universe has put us on lockdown and has grounded us, like parents would ground you, when you do something bad and you're like, you stay in your room, time out. Yeah, we've been put on time out. Like, I feel like we're, and Mother Earth is now happy and purging, but coming back to life, and we feel like we're punished somehow, and so how would you explain the fact that on a global scale at this point of time we are in this position, and it feels that of course a lot of things are changing, but we don't know where it's going and where we're headed, but we know that something bigger than ourselves is moving us somewhere else. So what's your feeling on that? Maybe
can I come in with
yeah.
Feeling inspired, so stepping in. That was again coming from a space of experience, talking from myself, is the resistance basically of all of us in this path. We're all evolving, be it light or dark, we're all walking that path of evolution, and we all are serving a purpose. However, I believe that it's only, I just want to make sure that coming from a space of what I'm sensing. So again, it's not lecturing, but just sharing what I feel about the situation. It did, I believe that this time that came had to come with a certain authority or certain power to stop everything and put a big pause on all of us as to help us really face it. Like, we all at some point in our lives wondered, how far are we and who are we and what are we supposed to be doing and so on. I'm sure that each and every soul on earth right now has wondered at some point in her path. But how many are we, have we been working on that or pursuing this quest that has been within us? And based on that, I believe that now Mother Earth, regardless of the status of the energetic field or the frequency of Earth in general, as all its inhabitants, there is a time, a crucial time of evolution, of ascension.
Mm-hmm.
And Mother Earth has imposed, and the creation and the source has imposed on us to basically deal with ourselves, to join and with our free will, to be part of this beautiful evolution. And the only way forward for me, as what I understood so far from the situation, is to deal with our resistance. So I have faced my own self, going first in survival mode of making sure that I stocked up enough food, and that my family, being a mother and, you know, in charge of a tribe at home, making sure that everyone is safe. And then feeling that, you know, the fear is rising, being a business owner as well, wondering if, you know, you would just survive through this storm, and just questioning why does it have to be so drastic, and what's going to happen next, and all these questions that pops up. And I was observing, because I truly, what I felt is that this time is a shadow work time. It's a crucial time where we are being put in isolation, as you said, for us to withdraw from the doing, the distractions, and all sorts of excuses. That's always was a good reason for us not to reflect and not to face all these beautiful shadows that are there to teach us beautiful lessons, so we can ascend and create a new reality. And so yes, it is fine to fall down. It is also fine to stay there for a while, but because it's part of the self-love, part of the authenticity of the self-love, of holding yourself's space, being there, hearing all these voices that's been screaming for help, and we didn't get the chance to attend because we're busy with all sorts of things, and it was not the right time to collapse at that because of so many good reasons. Whereas here you are basically given that time. It's basically a luxury in whatever, how far we can sustain in being safe in that space and do the work. It's a yin energy, it's a female energy. The doing is a yang energy, is a masculine energy. So the more as a humanity we hold each other's hands and we do this self-work at an individual level, the more we will serve the collective consciousness to evolve. And hence, so the resistance is between, yes, I need to be in that yin energy and heal my wounds and nurture myself and nurture my loved ones, so that I can then be in that doing and co-create with this beautiful creation that is all holding us all together. So yes, the balance between all this, and I believe the answer is being in the here and now, and each day, each moment at a time, embrace this experience and grow over it.
Right.
So that's my intake for your question.
Okay.
I want to just, because I noticed something that I forgot to mention. I'm very honored to take a voice and be out there also in this beautiful, crucial time of Ramadan. Ramadan Kareem. I did not greet the community, so I just want to make sure to greet everyone. Ramadan Kareem, and all the best and many blessings during this beautiful, blissful month. So please go ahead.
Yeah, good comment. We forgot it was even Ramadan because it's just so much going on. You know, the lockdown has taken so much place in our lives that it's very much part. It feels like nothing else is happening at the moment. But yes, Ramadan Kareem too. Yes, Corina?
Yeah, so I wanted to add to what Nabila was saying. which is very poignant, and it's about this the dynamics between, you know, when you're in a family setting or in a relationship, and with all this going on, there was all these shadows bubbling up to the surface, and then what do you do with it? And often what happens then is these four horsemen, like blaming, and you did this, and it's actually about the work of like, okay, I'm this, you're this, how can we meet, how can we be speaking to and communicating with each other in a constructive way in order to either solve this or have a different arrangement, etc., etc. So we have been really like on the timeout, which Magda said earlier, this timeout, mother timeout, like no more this, you know, you did this and you did this and the government did this and it's always the others, but it's actually about us to say, okay, what is it within me that's actually always blaming? What is that shadow within me that's constantly trying to put it out there? And it's not me. No, it's not me. It's them. So and funnily enough, I mean, you know, I'm saying this now, but and actually I was going through this. You know, I was literally going through this. I was picking up on, oh yeah, now they're doing this and now they're doing this, and then I had to stop myself and say, no, hold on. You know, who am I? Who am I to put them in boxes and then realizing also this balance, this beautiful balance of polarities, this right and wrong, this black and white,
the
dark
polarity,
and,
yeah,
you know, and to finding the middle way, the balancing way of saying, okay, who am I? How can I be at balance in that midline with it? How can I be that feminine, that masculine, and doing right for myself in this moment and at service for others? So I just wanted to check in on that.
No, very good. So just what I'm hearing from this, and then maybe Frederick, you can also tell us how you feel about the why we are put on the timeout collectively, and what is it that we need to learn from it. But what I understand from what Nabila is saying, and also Karina, it's about the what seems to be a painful thing is actually blessing in disguise, right? So we are working with our inner shadow, but we are also Earth, or all of us are this painful moment which becomes something, the polarity, so the duality, something negative that is actually serving us as a collective to grow. So not only we are working on our personal growth and knowing ourselves better and getting closer and more connected to our essence as a person, as an individual, but we are also asked to, maybe this is what I hear from the both of you, is that this painful moment is a blessing in disguise and should be taken as an opportunity to reflect collectively on what kind of future we want to create for tomorrow, what kind of world we want to live in tomorrow. Maybe we've been gifted a break to think about this, that we choose our path collectively, what kind of world we want for us and for our children tomorrow, and how do we want to evolve? What do you think about that?
Okay, so sometimes as you see, the connection is dropping. Like I said, I'm in the Swedish countryside, and the connection is not always stable, which is the price to pay to be in the no with very no lockdown. In short, how should I put it? We can read reasons into whatever happens. I think it's more helpful to think, regardless of the reason, if there is one, what do we make? And I note one reason why it's very difficult for us to take a step back most of the time in life is because we have fear of missing out, FOMO, where it feels like there's a big party, everyone's having fun apart from us, and we feel left out. And the brain goes into a mode of, something must be wrong with me if I'm not with others. Therefore, I must do what the others do, because otherwise maybe something's wrong, maybe I'm left out, and we don't like being left out. In this situation, everyone's put in the same situation where everyone is missing out, so there's no more excuses. Why did it happen now? Well, we could argue it because of the acceleration of interconnectivity through travel, through internet, and how all of this has developed, that the virus could spread so quickly. Because 30 years ago, it wouldn't have happened. It would have been a small region in China.
But that's my question to you. Is it because maybe we've gone too far and we've prioritized everything that's not our well-being and what we need as human beings, and we've put the focus on profit, technology, as you said, okay, interconnectivity is really good, but it's a double-edged sword because we have more distractions and everything was going too fast and we felt like we had no control over anything. And we felt that we were powerless because we couldn't change things, because we were too busy surviving or paying bills or running after this and running after that. And now it's like, hold on, if you guys cannot, you know, stop for a minute and create a more positive future, maybe I'll give you a chance to sit and reflect on whether you're happy with where things are going. And we lost Fred in the middle of this question. So
I'm back. I think I'm back.
Yeah.
I see you again in all cases. Well, it seems, you know, the reason why it happened, if we just look at it from a system point of view, is governments didn't do what we expected them to do quickly enough. The fact that somebody got a virus doesn't have anything to do with profit. The fact that governments were unwilling to shut down, which is the right measure, possibly had something to do with it, but it also came from a state-controlled economy. Well, mainly state-controlled economy, which is a specific situation. The fact that other governments had not really prepared, you know, maybe part of it is that they were hoping everything would be fine and were addicted to hope. And we know that the way governments usually work is, I get elected for 4 years and after me it's someone else's problem, you know, or hopefully I get 8 years and afterwards it's someone else's problem. So it's very short term, which is very different in Dubai, where the government doesn't have that vision. There's always an upside and downside, you know. You have more stability in terms of government, so there's a different point of view and there's a price to pay for all of this.
Right.
Regardless of why it happened, the question is, you know, what do we make of it? And, you know, what do we make of it? Well, first of all, we're very lucky it happened now, because imagine this happened before internet, it would be unbelievably different. This happened at a time when we still have unbelievable access to material goods that were unthinkable 30 years ago. Like having laptops like we do now. I mean, I don't know if you remember the price of a computer in the 1980s, but it was probably a few months of salary for somebody earning a good salary. A microphone like this one, which now costs about $100, so materially doing really well. We've got access to all the information we can possibly want. And one of the beauties is people always, and I include myself in this, come up with excuses to not do things. I don't have time, I'm too stressed, I've got too much on my plate. This is just an excuse. Like if I were to tell you, I'll pay you $1 million to learn Russian in a week, you're going to learn Russian in a week. You're going to find the time because suddenly you've got motivation. The issue most of the time we have is lack of motivation, because we think, what's the point? Maybe so much temptation on doing random things, be it, like we said before, partying, shopping, getting dopamine hits on social media, eating sugar and all of those things. And now most of it is taken away. So now it's like no more excuses. I went to a music store here in Sweden. I asked how business was, assuming business would be bad so I could haggle a price. And the guy said, business is booming. People are expecting to be locked down for months. So they come in here and they buy all these instruments, and there's so many people picking up instruments or buying instruments. And some of them say, you know, if I'm going to die soon, I might as well spend my last months of my life playing a really expensive, beautiful acoustic guitar, and they're blowing their money on instruments. Like, you know, they have a point. They really do. So of course I didn't haggle the price. I just got a very decent deal anyway. But the excuses have been removed. The temptation has been removed. The FOMO has been removed. And then, you know, people are faced with with whatever they, whatever they come up with. And so here we're just really lucky that we have internet. We can do this kind of conference, which was unthinkable 10 years ago. We didn't have the technology for it, really, to do it this way. Somebody wants to learn an instrument, they can do it. One of my friends is writing a book. He said he's been more productive in the last 2 months because of the lockdown, and he's following. Yeah, he's writing a book, and he's following all of these courses about writing. So he's improving his writing dramatically, and he never had time to do it. And another beauty, actually, is we can work remotely. So many people continue working, and they're no longer commuting, and so they're gaining 1 or 2 hours a day. They're spending more time with a family. Some are discovering that actually parenting is harder than they thought because they were relying on schools and kindergartens to take care of the kids, and some are having an absolute ball with the children. And the beauty here is, if it's tough to be with the children, there's something to work on, and now you can work on it. When are you going to do it? When they turn 25? Like, imagine the bundle of resentment that's going to be building up until they're 25. Now sort it out. Something comes up, sort it out. You don't have the choice. You're locked in the house with the kids anyway, or with your partner, or with your parents, or whoever, or with yourself. Something comes up, sort it out. If you don't do it now, you're never going to do it. Might as well do it now. I mean, and you don't really have the choice. So
actually, to build on this, I mean,
you can't divorce from kids, and you can't divorce from yourself.
Absolutely, joining you in that, absolutely, and just wanting to share my experience so far. Me being a wife and a mother, it's been very very interesting, because the fact that you basically find yourself in your household more available, but yet to have to, hold the space for yourself as a human being, yourself as a business owner, or as a worker in whatever you're doing, and then also being there for your relationship, for your couple, being there as a mother to your children, and finding all these, for me, it's been now 1 month almost, more or less. I'm not even counting. It's been so crucial. I'm very, very grateful and very thankful to whatever is happening right now, because it helped me to address certain aspects of myself towards my family, towards my role as a mother, my role as a wife, my role with myself, being in relationship to others, that allowed me to go deeper within me and address the resistance within me and grow over it. And that was part of the withdrawal that I had to go through, so that I felt honored and gifted that I had the tools and also the wisdom to, yet being in the movie and living all the crises and living all these ups and downs, and yet being in that space of silence in the background and the observer role, to say that, hey, what is this situation teaching me here? Oh, I'm so glad that finally we addressed a core issue that we've always never had really the chance to address, because there was also many reasons for us not to attend. And now I'm feeling blessed to actually have the time for my children, to have the time for my husband, to have the time for each other, play, interact, talk, connect, find out what's happening at school, being there to hold the hands of my children through the homeschooling, the online schooling, to understand their hurdles. We are much more connected, but yet, yes, I had to say that I don't want to come from the space of hippie, happy, but more of oh my goodness me, please take them back to school, and then finding out, oh, look at this resistance, and not understanding why I had to be locked down altogether, trying to figure out how we're going to go through this, but then saying, oh, no, hold on a second, maybe there's something to learn. Where are the tools that I had? And now using the tools as I going along and seeing how much we can create in whatever. We are so self-resourceful, and we have them all within, and we're being given the time to actually reconnect to these very innate resources that we all have. The difference is that some of us learn the tools to develop this innate wisdom, and some of us not, but the wisdom is all there for all of us. Anyhow, I just wanted to share this.
But what do you have to say to people who are currently either, you know, lonely and overwhelmed with a lot of things coming up for them? Maybe you know, I mean, I guess for some, they may have quick tools to kind of deal with this in a more in a more easier or graceful way, and some are maybe facing some challenging times. And so what do you have to say to people who are going through you know, suffering maybe losses or feeling some overwhelming emotions that they can't handle on their own?
I think if I may say, for my how I come in with relationships, often it's with breath work and movement, because I feel in the physical body there's often a lot of emotions like.
Can't hear you very well, Corina. Maybe you can get closer to the.
Okay, can you hear now?
Yeah, much better.
So, is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So for me, communication, relationships, I always address also very much the physical often. So movement and breath for me is vital to bring in as a toolbox for relationships, for people, whether you're on your own or whether you're as a couple or whether you're as a family. Because I believe sometimes, you know, words and you know, the whole outside might not be going deep within. So breath work and movement, to really come to your essence, to come to peace with yourself, to meditate, to be with yourself if you're by yourself, and really figure out, you know, what have I been running away from? What do I want now? How can I take this as a gift, as we said earlier, in order to move forward and move forward differently? Now with the relationship, it's about this, and what Nabila was saying beforehand, it was this, you know, this constantly outside, there's this to go to, and I have got work, and the kids need to be dropped off at school, and So there was always this rat race as such, and it was always avoidance. You know, you could easily avoid one another, and suddenly you're like cooped up together, and now suddenly there's this family, you can't escape it anymore, and there's this, you know, how are we being together? How can we do and be together in a peaceful, harmonious way? And then it's about, yes, self-care. So as a couplesome or as a family, I would always suggest, you know, it's like in an aircraft. First you take the mask on, and then you give the mask to somebody else, because first you take it yourself. So you go into your room, hopefully if you have or the bathroom or whatever, you have deep breath, and then you meet that person, or you be with your kids. So for me, whether that answers, so my approach would be that breath and movement in an individual level or relationship level. And I feel also from what was said earlier, I wanted to say, it's about being present. It's about really being present and actually getting the opposite of what you usually do. So some of us, including myself, I'm a yogi. I'm very good with being on my own. I can cook for myself. I have the best romance with myself. I'm okay with that. They get the heebies if they have to be by themselves on their own with candlelight and cook themselves. They would not even go there. They're like, oh my God, what's happening? What's happening? You know, there's this mind chatter. They cannot like get to that. And there's no, I'm not judging it. It's just, it's always the opposite. It's also in yoga. It's like if somebody wants to do hatha yoga, he's a runner, he wants to do hatha yoga. I always say, no, do yin yoga, do the opposite. You need flexibility, you need stretch. So it's a physical, it's a breath, it's an opposite, it's a toolbox. So perhaps, you know, exploring that for yourself, with yourself, or with somebody who can help you, as in, you know, just be people who can help you with that on Zoom, on, you know, connecting with us.
Yeah, as in to seek help from a facilitator in this case, and
feeling empowered. So I want to point out feeling empowered, or giving empowerment rather than telling them what to do. You should, but really hearing them out and then working with them.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you, Fred? What's in your self-help tool box?
Sure. So on the off chance it cuts again, apologies, I'm going to be reconnecting. So self-help toolbox. First of all, a beautiful website called atlasofemotions.org. World Wide Web, www.atlasofemotions.org. This website was made by Dr. Paul Ekman at the request of the Dalai Lama, who's one of his very close friends. The first time they met, I think they were in the 60s or 70s, and Ekman said, it's like, I know you. And he said, yes, it's good to see you again. It's taken us a while to meet again in this life. And Ekman is very scientific. And yet he just said, well, I know him. We've met before. Ekman is the specialist about microexpressions and emotions, how the face shows whatever emotions you're feeling. He was a scientific advisor on the film Inside Out, and the TV show Lie to Me is based on his work, specialist in lie detection and emotions. This website, Atlas of Emotions, takes 5 of the 7 universal emotions, shows the different stages of them, and puts words to it to explain why we feel what we feel. And what I see is when we feel something and we can't explain it, we get frustrated. And the other person doesn't understand it, and it's uncomfortable, and it creates tension. When we can say, for example, I'm getting frustrated because I have a goal that I want.
Oh, we're losing you there.
Can't hear you.
Getting frustrated because it's repeated failures to overcome an obstacle. Like with the internet connection, it's frustrating that it keeps on dropping, and I get messages that the connection is unstable, but I can't do anything about it. I've disconnected all my other devices. So be it. Atlas of Emotions is excellent. Atlas of Emotions is amazing. So really go on that, read it for yourself, share it with your partner, share it with your children. If you're on your own, share it with yourself. Figure out what you're angry about, what you're afraid of, what makes you sad. Whenever you feel an emotion, atlasofemotions.org. When you feel an emotion, accept it. Burying it doesn't make it go away. Emotions are like the dashboard of our life, of how we react to situations. If you drive a car and you're running out of gas, do you want to know that you're running out of gas so you can do something about it? Or do you just want to pretend that everything's going to be fine? If you just pretend everything's going to be fine, you're going to run out of gas anyway. It's just going to be really unpleasant. We think about emotions as being positive or negative. That's nonsense. It's not positive or negative. They are pleasant or unpleasant. An unpleasant emotion is just as helpful as a pleasant one. It's actually more helpful because the unpleasant one helps us avoid things that are a threat to us. And the pleasant one is there simply as a reward because sometimes things are nice. And sometimes we can just be happy because nothing is unpleasant. And that's just mind-blowing. When you think of how many things could go wrong, if nothing's unpleasant, that's amazing. And sometimes things are even better. We can just be grateful for that. So Atlas of Emotions is the first one. When we feel emotions, don't resist them because they don't go away. They just get stored inside. So we have to do something about it, our 1 point. Or we live our life with these emotions stored inside, which makes life miserable. With emotions, by the way, we can either accept them or we can block them. If we block them, we choose which ones block. We either block all, choose block.
Okay, I think that's...
And if we're afraid of sadness, we're blocking things. If we're afraid of anger, we're blocking things. But when we block them, we also block joy. And a life without joy isn't much fun. The price to pay for joy is anger and sadness, and fear, disgust.
So basically,
surprise, that goes either way. That's neutral.
Embracing all of our emotions, the beautiful one as well as the difficult ones.
I was wanting to add to that. I actually met once.
Yeah, Fred was disconnected or just a bit of a delay here, but I think, hold that thought, Fred. Corina wanted to add something on
Emotions.
Yeah.
The blockages of emotions.
Yeah,
the thing
please.
often is also, and I've met a couple of people, they had emotions, they couldn't figure out why, because that, like this one particular person, colleague of mine, and he was like, I don't understand. I have so much anger. I have the most beautiful life. I have a family. I have 2 young kids. I have a wife. I'm happy, and there's still always this anger coming up. Sure, Bob. It was like he had a family constellation. It showed up as his grandfather's anger. So it's not necessarily our anger. It might be a locked in your system, wherever it came from. And sometimes also this emotion, to work on the emotions, not to make sense of it and just let it flow. And I learned that for myself also through some spiritual moments where I was told, let it flow, and have a smile with that. So even if it's smile with it, because and say thank you, because it kind of, the serotonin gets shed with just by the facial muscle going upward, right? You're forgiving yourself, you're letting it flow, and you're just getting it out of your system.
Yeah.
That's very true. We're addicted to rationalizing, and rationalizing emotions doesn't help. It's like, if I have my hand on a burning frying pan, I'm in pain. I can try to understand why it's there. I can try to understand why my parents showed me to put it there, why my girlfriend put my hand there, why I put my hand there. It doesn't change the pain. Rationalizing it is the wrong tool. It's like, am I in pain or not? If I am, what do I do about it? And trying to understand where it comes from if there's anger. It's like, but why? That's what we get when a child is angry and the parents go, why are you angry? If you can't explain, then don't be angry. But that doesn't change the child's anger. That's parents doing the best they can with the tools they have, which are not very helpful. But then the child rationalizes, if I can't explain something, I'll pretend it isn't there. And then the child keeps it inside. And sometimes, like you say, Corina, it doesn't come from the child. So, why is it there? It's irrelevant. Is it there or is it not there? If it's there, what do you do? Do you do something or nothing? Simple as that. And it's much easier just to accept it. We don't need to understand.
Right.
There's an image I like. There's a great book actually called The Happiness Hypothesis about positive psychology. And an image they use is to say the mind is like a rider on an elephant. The elephant is the unconscious mind. So trying to understand what the elephant feels is a rider talking to an elephant saying, explain to me. And the elephant goes, I don't know how to explain. I don't speak human language. And the rider goes, come on, explain. If you don't explain, I'll pretend that you're not feeling angry, or you're not feeling sad, or you're not feeling scared. That's not going to change how the elephant feels. Only the elephant's going to feel pretty bad afterwards because it can't.
Frédéric, you're cutting off.
On the elephant. There's an elephant in the room.
So, does someone remember the name of the book? Because someone is asking on the. Yes, we will ask Fred. We lost Fred. Nabila, maybe in the meantime that Fred comes back, what's in your self-help toolbox for people who at the moment are going through overwhelming emotions and they need to they can't have direct access to help. So what's your advice?
One of the tools that is helping me a lot that I'm here to share is the act of gratitude towards everything that we have right now. Everything that's been gifted to us, starting with our bodies carrying us, our minds being of service to us, our hearts loving us unconditionally, all the good, beautiful things that we do have, all the beautiful people that are there for us, and so much that is all over us that we're not able to see always, and because of so many, you know, triggers out there that not always help us to be centered and to appreciate and be thankful for what we have. So very important, and more than ever, use the gratitude by just, you know, using keeping a journal of gratitude and expressing gratitude to all of that you are and all that you have, and the spiritual support that is out there. I'm receiving beautiful messages ever since. It's never been as clear as right now during this period of time. So with beautiful energies pouring to all of us to help us, and our spirit guides that are there to support us and calling, and they're unconditionally. So connect, be within, withdraw, and as much as you can whenever you have a moment. And I'm sure we're so creative that we can always find a moment for ourselves and take care of yourself. Like self-care is very, very crucial. Listen to your emotions, hold the space for it, because you do have time. And like the other times that we live right now, we do have this luxury of having that moment to reflect from within and yeah, use the breath. Beautiful. It's all there. I mean, maybe the use of the mask is a good reminder to be so grateful of being able to inhale and exhale freely, and just be reminded of that and appreciate it, being healthy and boost on that, and support, focus on, you know, feeding your body, as we do have at whatever level the necessary supplies to be able to nurture our bodies, so our body can fight anything from the outworld. Okay, if we are to focus on the virus as whatever a threat, how about believing in my body to be able to overcome whatever challenge that is out there, and what can I do to support it by just being more mindful about hearing that voice that is desperate to communicate to us, and nurture that voice and allow this nurturing by serving, being at service to your body, being at service to listen to your mind and clear that mind and vent out the overload. I mean, how often did we do this work? You know, have we ever done this work by just being at, you know, hearing these voices and allow to breathe through the breath, whatever basic tools, and we are there to share the tools. Actually, I want to elaborate on the fact that when I was in that brainstorming with myself as well as with other experts in our field in how can we be at service, so we came up with the one of the initiative that Just Be wants to offer is to create forums like webinars like today on a regular basis. Perhaps we'll see how frequent we can honor that and give the voice to experts to be able to feed in with tools that you could utilize all throughout. And so that we can walk along together this walk and share whatever we have to empower you and make the best out of the experience and indulge in as much learnings, because these learnings will help us all ascend all together. So forums will take place, our presence online will come along as well, to be able to share the tools with workshops and trainings. Perhaps it's a crucial time right now to address this and get all these beautiful, empowering tools to be able to serve yourself and serve your loved ones. So this is coming up, and the intention is definitely to be out there to offer what we call the Just Be presence. I believe that presence for to our communities is crucial right now more than ever. So we promise you that in whatever way possible, and also invite all these beautiful expertise to voice out and share whatever tools they have. So this is coming up. I think Fred is he back? Is he no?
He's back, and then he's
and
then he's gone, and then he's back again. Yeah. Here, are you here, Fred?
I'm
Are you struggling? Are you struggling in Sweden? I thought the Swedish would have had a better connection that we do here in Dubai. Okay.
Coming back, sorry.
No,
I don't know what's going. I don't know if Sweden is, all of Sweden is connecting to our live stream on Facebook, and that's what's ruining the connection here.
Are you in the countryside?
I am in the countryside.
Ah, that's why.
Yes, in the country. Sweden's a very big country, and this is a small village in the countryside.
They still didn't roll out 5G in Sweden, I think.
No, I don't think so. Not here anyway.
Okay. Fred, Bernadette was asking the name of the book of happiness that you mentioned earlier, and then you got cut off because we lost the connection.
Again, we lost him.
Wait, I just lost it. The name of the book? Which one? Sorry.
You mentioned the book earlier.
Happiness, something around.
Happiness. Oh yes, Happiness Hypothesis by Dr. Jonathan Haidt. Haidt is H-A-I-D-T. The Happiness Hypothesis. It's a beautiful book.
Okay, I'll let you share it on the chat for everyone who wants to have the book as a reference.
I'll connect to the Facebook page afterwards, and then I'll share it as a reference. Because now I'm concerned if I open Facebook, that's gonna eject me again.
No problem. So Fred, because you got interrupted earlier, did you want to add anything about the self-help tool that you want to share with everyone else?
Yeah, I'll assume that everyone heard everything I said, but there's another point, because I don't know when I got cut. Another book that's amazing is a book called Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love by Nancy Dreyfus. So Nancy Dreyfus, D-R-E-Y-F-U-S-S. Talk to Me Like I'm Someone You Love. And that's a fantastic book to help couples sort through tense moments, couples, children, anyone. Those books are great. And another thing to bear in mind is, first of all, be kind to yourself. It's not easy times. And also, you don't get brownie points if you suffer on your own. There's no upside to it. I know people want to do everything on their own because they think asking for help is a sign of weakness. Knowing to ask for help, if a sign, and suffering needlessly doesn't improve anything. It's like if you climb to the top of the mountain. Getting to the top of the mountain with small stones in your shoe doesn't make anyone applaud you. And they just think that you're stupid because it's really difficult to do it, even with help, even with no stones in your shoe. It's a good time to ask for help. If you can do it on your own, it's great. But then if you want to do it on your own, ask yourself why. Is it finances? Does it mean that you're not a priority? Do you not believe that people can help you? Sometimes reading a book, all you need is great, and read the book. Sometimes getting help save you hours or days or weeks or months. So it's a good time to question that. Is it the right to get help? And what do you want? And how can you find someone who helps you grow, who respects you? And sometimes just trying 1 or 2 sessions with different people is a great way to do it. And, it's a time where various people are being more generous because they want to make their help more affordable. And it's a good time to trial that a little bit. But mainly remembering, if you want to do it on your own, it's fine. But there are no brownie points for getting through it on your own. It doesn't make anything better. It just increases needless suffering. So
I was going to add to that actually, because I feel, for relationships or relationship with self even, I mean, as a woman, every 3 to 4 years, our hormones change. So physically you change, emotionally you change. In a relationship, you have the honeymoon period, 8 months approximately, then comes the real life realities of money, of maybe kids coming in, etc. So there's a constant, change is a constant factor actually. And nowadays even more so, right? So you're faced with that. And I so wish, I mean, for myself even, a long time back, I had that guidance or had reached out to someone to actually guide me through assisting with my relationship. space, you know, to say, you're okay, it's normal to feel like that, because it feels like, you know, we've been instructed to become like, you know, that everything is perfect as is, and it will always be like that. And it's not, because it always will change. And the more you share, whether it's in a group, whether it's a forum, as Just Be will offer, whether it's with one-on-one, I think it's amazing. It's an amazing tool. And yes, it's the art of receiving, the art of asking, you know, and some people, including myself 10 years ago, I would have not asked for help. Now I'm like, every time I feel something or I reach out, for example, to Nabila, you know, as practitioners also, we help each other. And it's a beautiful thing. It's really allowing to grow, allowing to be open, vulnerable, really stepping into that vulnerability for the sake of growth, which Fred also said, you know, it's about growing. It's not about staying stagnant and saying, oh, it's all great, you know. It's not, you know, it's like you have to grow and you evolve with each other as a family, as a couplesome. And if you don't grow anymore, I think it's dead, you know. And then what are we going to do about it? Is there enough love there in order to say, right, we're going to get this on board. We're going to make it happen, right? We're going to grow and evolve together.
Maybe nothing ever truly dies. Everything transforms.
For sure. No, I agree with that fully. And yeah, that goes into the another topic I'm actually very passionate about, with regards to marriages and so on and so forth, all paradigms. And it's maybe another time, you know.
We need another whole conference on that one. We need a couple of maybe series. It's a hot topic.
Curious, because change is constant.
Okay.
So we came to, it's been an hour. It hasn't felt so, right?
No. So much to say.
Absolutely. So it's the first, but not least. It's gonna, the show will go on. So forums will be there to hold the space for each other. So the intention is, again, to remind, and for those who join later, is to just be and express this presence. So be there for each other, and hold. The second thing is to hold the space for each other. No judgment, just come with your hearts, and we're here to serve in whatever way possible. More voices would come along with panels, webinars that will be offered, as well as expertise. I am to define also an approach to be able to be also helpful and accessible for people who are crossing whatever situations, and including financial situations. So I'm very much considerate of that, and hence possible to be able to be at service and to contribute in whatever way. So it's been very exciting. Thank you, Magda, for facilitating it for us. It's my first live. The first Just Be live since this situation is happening. So it's a date. It's a big date for us. Thank you, Corina and Fred, for being there. Really sorry that Fred could not be heard clearly. We'll try our best next time. Maybe it will be more accessible.
Maybe so next time he'll be in Dubai.
Yeah, well, exactly. So yeah, last words for me, gratitude, and much love to all the community.
Thank you. Stay tuned for the next conference. We'll let you know. Take care of yourself.
Hearts are connected. Thank you so much.
Fred, we lost him again, but
if you have any questions, by the way, one thing that I would love your engagement, like feedback, any suggestions of what would you like, how would you like Just Be to help, to be at service. I do have a few ideas, but it's not all, right? So I'd like to hear from the community and what would they like to have, and we can design programs that could help them and to walk this walk together. So would love to hear. Oh, Fred is back. Fred, your last moment live.
It's your last chance to say it.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks for being here, Fred.
Yep. Thank you, and thank you for your patience with my Houdini trick of disappearing and reappearing. That was not done on purpose. It's the first time it happens. As you know, we've had dozens of hours of talking, and it's the first time I have a bad connection. So I'm really sorry for that.
Oh, that's fine.
But I'm thank you for everyone for tuning in. Thank you, Nabila, Magda, and Karina. And I look forward to thank you for this opportunity to share with everyone. Look forward to talking with them again soon. And thank you.
All right. Thank you all for the audience for being there and hearing us and sharing this moment together. And see you soon.
Yeah, so next time is when? Sorry, can we just be clear on that? Because also for myself, next time next week.
Yeah, next time next week. Yeah. We will do that on a weekly basis, and we'll keep you posted on the next one.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you.
Take care.